Ethan Reed was not a genius, at least not in the way most people thought of geniuses. It wasn't building rockets for NASA or solving complex equations for quantum computers. But in his small Oregon town, surrounded by pine trees and silence, he was definitely that guy, the strange one who pointed antennas at the stars and believed someone. Somewhere was listening. Every night, Ethan would climb into his attic-turned laboratory. Wires dangled from the ceiling, computers blinked with green lights, and a satellite dish on the roof turned slowly, scanning the void. His equipment was all second-hand or handmade. He had built a signal booster using parts from an old microwave, and a frequency tuner from a broken radio he'd bought for $5 at a garage sale. He wasn't rich. He wasn't popular. He just believed. Ethan believed that the universe was too big for us to be alone, so one night, a little past 1 a.m., after eating a cold pizza and drinking his third can of soda, he leaned back in his chair, opened the Signal software, and typed, "Hello, out there. This is Ethan Reed from Earth. I don't know if you understand English, but if you do, I just want to say we're friendly. Also, our music rocks. P.S. If you're planning an invasion, please reconsider." Attached to the message was a playlist of early 2000s rock songs and a few cat memes, because why not? He pressed send. The signal shot through space, bouncing off satellites, stretching past Mars, slipping beyond Jupiter's orbit like a whisper. In the dark, Ethan sat back, feeling satisfied. Of course, he didn't really expect a reply. What he didn't know was this. He had aimed for the Alpha Centauri system, but due to a small coding error, a single misplaced decimal, the signal veered off course by millions of light-years. It didn't go to Alpha Centauri, it went to Zerelia. Zerelia was not a peaceful place. It was a world of glass towers and floating cities where starships blocked out the sun and plasma cannons could melt a mountain. The Zerelians were advanced, proud, and in the middle of a brutal civil war, in a golden chamber floating above the capital planet, Princess Varia sat alone. She was royalty, yes, but she was also a fugitive. Her father, the emperor, had died under suspicious circumstances, and his brother, a cruel general named Lorok, had claimed the throne. Varia, the true heir, had escaped with nothing but her armor, her AI assistant, and a teleportation beacon connected to emergency coordinates across the galaxy. She had been hiding in abandoned ships, hopping between war zones, and sending secret messages to loyal followers. But she was running out of places to hide. Then, her ship picked up something unusual. ... Earth. I don't know if you understand English. ... She blinked. "AI, translate that," she commanded. The voice repeated in Zerelian. The words were strange light, almost playful, nothing like the threats or politics she usually heard. She leaned forward. "Replay it again." As the signal played, with the odd voice and silly jokes, something inside her shifted. This message wasn't from a government. It wasn't a trap, it was human, and it sounded like hope. "Location?" she asked. The AI hesitated. "It's planet. Primitive technology. No known interstellar contact. However, signal origin confirmed. Earth." Varia stood. Her eyes glowed softly in the dark. "Then that's where I'm going." Back on Earth, Ethan had almost forgotten about the message. He was watching a movie downstairs when the lights in his house flickered. The TV glitched. His laptop upstairs began to hum louder than usual. Then the basement lights turned blue. "What the?" he muttered, grabbing a flashlight. When he opened the basement door, he saw something that froze him mid-step. In the middle of the room, where his signal transmitter stood, a circle of light had formed, swirling, buzzing, almost liquid in shape. His equipment beeped like crazy. The air smelled like burning ozone. And then someone appeared, not walked in, beamed in. She was tall, taller than any human woman he'd seen. Her skin was light purple, smooth and glowing faintly. Her hair floated, like it was underwater, silver and braided. She wore a suit of armor that shimmered like glass and metal combined. In one hand she held a short rod which hissed and crackled with light, She looked around the room slowly, her eyes locked onto Ethan. Ethan dropped his flashlight. "What the?" he stammered. The woman spoke, her voice calm but firm. "Are you Ethan Reed of Earth?" His mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. I think so," she said. She took a step forward. The rod in her hand buzzed louder. "You sent a signal," she said, "declaring Earth as friendly territory, diplomatic sanctuary, and something about cats." Ethan's brain went into a loop. She stepped closer. "Do you deny this transmission?" No. Yes, I sent it, but it wasn't. I didn't mean you were listening." The woman lowered the rod slightly. "I am Princess Viraya of Zorelia," she said, "and I accept your offer of sanctuary." She looked around again, clearly unimpressed by the cobwebs and soda cans. Although she added, "I expected better architecture." 10 minutes later, Ethan sat across from her at his kitchen table, trying to process what had just happened. She still held the plasma rod, but it was now inactive and clipped to her belt. She studied a spoon like it was a weapon. "So let me get this straight," he said, his voice cracking. "You're a real alien princess, from another planet. And you came here because of my signal?" "Yes," she said calmly. "And you beamed into my basement." "Correct. Using some kind of space magic?" "Teleportation. Beacon. Nothing magical." Ethan rubbed his temples. "Okay, cool. Outside a dog barked. Somewhere down the street, someone set off fireworks. Viria flinched. "This world is noisy," she said. "You get used to it," Ethan replied. Then paused. "Wait, are you in danger? Someone following you?" Vera didn't answer immediately. Her eyes drifted to the window, where stars blinked innocently. "I am," she said finally. "But I chose this world because it's unexpected. Off-grid. Nobody in the Empire would guess I'd hide on a planet without space travel." Ethan stared at her. "We have airplanes." She smiled faintly. "How charming." Then her smile faded. "But if they trace the signal, they will come, and Earth may not be ready." A chill passed through Ethan's spine. He had sent a signal. For fun, for curiosity. He had joked about invasions. But now an actual galactic power might be on its way to his home planet. "Oh boy," he whispered. "I might have just started Earth's first alien war from my basement." Ethan Reed was dreaming about lasers and burritos when something exploded outside his house. Boom. His eyes shot open. The room was shaking. His lamp fell off the table. A car alarm wailed outside. For a second, he thought maybe it was just a small earthquake. But Princess Vera was already on her feet. She was holding her plasma rod, which was now glowing bright orange. Her armor lit up with blue lines. She ran to the window and pulled back the curtain. A small fire was burning down the street. A large, black object had crashed into a tree, smashing through a car and digging a long trail into someone's front yard. "What is that?" Ethan whispered, joining her at the window. Vera's expression turned cold. "Zorelian drone. Assassin class. They found me." Ethan swallowed hard. "They what now?" "What?" Without a word, she turned and marched out of the house. Ethan ran after her, grabbing his hoodie on the way. Outside, neighbors were starting to wake up. Lights came on in houses. People stood on porches, filming the wreckage with their phones. The drone looked like a smooth black beetle the size of a small car, with blinking red sensors and tiny fins on its back. Smoke hissed from vents. Viraya walked straight toward it. "Wait, are you crazy?" Ethan hissed, jogging to keep up. "What if that thing's still alive?" She didn't stop. "It is." The drone suddenly moved, with a mechanical screech. It spun around and launched a spike of metal straight toward her. Viraya dodged effortlessly, her body moving like liquid. The spike hit a tree, splitting it in half. Gasps came from the crowd. Before the drone could fire again, Viraya dashed forward, spinning her plasma rod. A beam of light extended from it like a glowing sword. With 2 quick slashes, she sliced through the drone's weapons and then its core. The drone sparked, hissed, and collapsed into a smoking pile. Silence. Then someone clapped. Then more clapping. A man in pajama pants shouted, "Yo, is that like a lightsaber?" Ethan grabbed her arm. "We need to go now. You just turned our street into Star Wars." She nodded, eyes scanning the skies. "More will come." Back at the house, Ethan paced the kitchen while Vera examined the drone's metal shard she had pulled from the wreckage. "I thought you said Earth was off-grid," Ethan muttered. "It was," she said calmly, "until your signal went out. My people monitored deep space anomalies. They tracked the teleport spike." Ethan rubbed his face. "Great. So because I pressed a button, alien assassins are showing up in my neighborhood." He gave hope to someone who needed it, Viraya said, looking at him. "You didn't fail. You just didn't expect the consequences." Ethan laughed nervously. "That's exactly what failure is." There was a knock at the door. Both of them froze. 3 more knocks. Slower. Heavier. Vera grabbed her blade. Ethan peeked through the peephole. "Who is it?" she whispered. "Government," Ethan replied. Standing outside were 2 black SUVs and 4 people in suits. One of them, a tall woman with sharp eyes and a tablet in her hand, stepped forward as Ethan opened the door just a crack. "Ethan Reed?" she asked, showing a badge. "Agent Myra Collins. Homeland Extraterrestrial Response." Come again? You track alien anomalies? You triggered 3 in the last 12 hours? Vera stepped beside Ethan, just barely visible. Agent Collins looked at her calmly. "And I assume that's the anomaly?" "She has a name," Ethan said, more bravely than he felt. Collins didn't flinch. "We don't want trouble. We want answers. And safety for both of you, and for Earth." Ethan and Vera exchanged looks. Collins added, "We're not the enemy here." 10 minutes later, they were sitting in a makeshift mobile lab inside one of the SUVs. Screens showed satellite maps, energy readings, and a grainy video of Vera fighting the drone. "I'll be honest," Agent Collins said. "At first, we thought this was a hoax. Then we picked up non-terrestrial energy signatures. Now we know. You're real." Vera nodded. "I am Princess Vera of the Zarelian Empire. You're being hunted?" "Yes, my uncle seeks to destroy me, to claim the throne fully. He has sent drone assassins and tracking units. But your world is unknown to the Empire. I had hoped it would be safe." Collins leaned back. "Signal may have changed that. We picked up 3 more inbound objects in orbit. We believe more drones or worse are coming." Ethan looked shocked. "So we're basically in an alien Cold War." "Not cold," Collins replied. "It's heating up fast." Later that night, Vera sat on the roof of Ethan's house, looking at the stars. Ethan joined her, holding 2 mugs of hot cocoa. "I used to look up and wonder if anyone was out there," he said. "And now?" she asked. "Now I'm sitting next to one." She smiled. "I'm sorry for bringing war to your world," she said softly. Ethan shook his head. "You didn't bring war. You brought truth. We always wondered if we were alone. Now we know. If they come here, they'll learn something too." "What's that?" "That humans don't run." She looked at him for a long moment, her expression unreadable. "You have courage, Ethan Reed," she said. He laughed. "Nope, just fear with bad decision-making." She smiled again. Far above them in the night sky, something shimmered. 3 blinking lights moving slowly across the stars. The next wave had arrived. 3 alien ships had entered Earth's orbit. They were silent, invisible to the human eye, and high above the clouds. But they were watching. Inside Ethan's small Oregon home, things were far from normal. Princess Viraya stood in the living room, holding a small crystal cube. With one tap, it projected a 3D star map into the air. Tiny lights moved across its ships, signals, planets, and warnings in an alien language Ethan couldn't read. Ethan sat on the couch, holding a bowl of popcorn, still wearing pajama pants. "So, those 3 lights we saw?" he asked Zarelian. "Scouts," Vera said. "Not full warships, but deadly enough." Ethan sighed. And they're up there watching us like hawks. Like predators, Vera corrected. There was a knock at the door. Ethan froze. Please tell me that's not another alien. Ain't your uncle? Vera said, glancing at the window. My what? Uncle Max was a conspiracy theorist, survivalist, and part-time blogger. He believed the moon landing was faked and that lizard people ran the government. He also owned 6 cats and had once tried to turn his garage into a spaceship. Now he stood at Ethan's door, wearing a tinfoil hat, holding a bag of canned beans and a walkie-talkie. I knew it, he said, staring at Virea. Mom, last year, I said aliens are already here, probably dating our boys. And she laughed. She laughed. Who's laughing now? Ethan groaned. Uncle Max, this is Princess Virea. She's an alien fugitive from a galactic empire. Uncle Max squinted. Royalty, huh? You look taller on the signals. I've never been on your signals, Vera replied flatly. Well, you're lucky. Most of Mr. Trash. Anyway. He walked inside like he owned the place. You? Kids got trouble. Military's locking down the skies. Satellites are going haywire. Birds are flying in weird patterns. It's starting. Starting? Ethan asked. Uncle Max nodded. The invasion. That night, strange things began to happen. Dogs barked nonstop. Power flickered in waves. Phones restarted without warning. Drones flew over neighborhoods that never saw drones. A few people claimed to see silver birds in the sky. But when they tried to take pictures, their phones shut down. Virea was quiet, but tense. They're scanning, she explained, looking for me. Ethan was more worried about the people. If they find you, what happens to us? They'll erase all evidence. That means people, buildings, entire zones, if necessary. Ethan sat down hard. Wow, that's comforting. By morning, the first attack came. It started small, humming sound in the sky, then a sudden flash. A news drone filming the strange sky pattern was zapped out of the air by an invisible force. People screamed. Videos leaked online, then vanished. Minutes later, Agent Mira Collins arrived at Ethan's house with her team, wearing black armor and carrying high-tech weapons. They're getting bolder, she said. We believe they're preparing for extraction or elimination. You mean they're coming for her? Ethan asked, pointing at Virea. No, Collins said. They're coming for all of us. HER, Homeland Extraterrestrial Response. Set up a mobile command center in Ethan's garage. Laptops, antennas, communication gear all installed in less than an hour. Collins explained the plan. Zarelians don't understand humanity's strength, she said. They think because we're primitive, we'll run. She looked at Ethan. But they don't know humans. I pushed back. Vera added. If we can hijack one of their scout drones, we can access their comms and send a message directly to the Zarelian Senate. If they know I'm a Levand Earth is helping, they might intervene before war starts. Max raised a hand. Can I blow something up? No, Collins replied. Yet, he muttered. That afternoon, the plan went into action. Her had tracked a scout drone circling nearby. Virea and Collins went with a small team to intercept it in a forest clearing. Ethan stayed behind, helping. Monitor the equipment and watching the live feed. Okay, he whispered. Let's just hijack a death machine. No big deal. The feed showed Virea moving like a shadow between trees, armor glowing softly. The drone hovered above, silent, but deadly, scanning the ground with a red beam. Then she struck. She leaped off a branch, landing on the drone's back. Her blade activated, slicing off the weapon unit. Collins's team shot it with an EMP pulse. The drone dropped to the ground, twitching but intact. Back at the house, Ethan cheered. You did it? Virea's voice came through the radio. Drone. Secured. Prepare to receive data. K.A. Ethan's garage. Virea and her engineers worked quickly. They connected cables, ran decoding programs, and filtered alien language into readable commands. We found their command channel, she said, but it's locked. Ethan stepped forward. Can I try? She gave him a nod. He sat down, cracked his fingers, and started typing. His custom frequency booster, the same one that sent the original signal, was now being used to intercept alien comms, with a few clever code tricks and a lot of luck. The lock broke. A new screen opened. Vera stared. A live Zarelian command feed blinked on the screen. It showed tactical maps and orders. Her eyes narrowed. They've sent a ground team. Elite soldiers. They're landing in 1 hour. Collins cursed. And we have to finish this now. Vera took a deep breath. I will speak to them, she said. She stood in front of the camera. Behind her, her agents held the Earth flag and Zarelian crest. Side by side, Ethan adjusted the lighting. Uncle Max handed her a cup of tea for dramatic effect. Then the signal went live. Across space. On encrypted Zarelian frequencies, Princess Vyra's face appeared. This is Princess Vyra. Of the House of Relin, she said, alive and under protection on planet Earth. This world has shown me kindness, bravery, and honor. I claim sanctuary, and I ask the Senate to recognize Earth's right to defend itself. She paused. If my uncle sends more ships, he will be met not by weakness but by resistance. Ethan leaned in and whispered, say the line. He smiled slightly. Humans do not run. Then she ended the transmission. Moments later, alarms blared. Inbound ship, Collins shouted. 1 kilometer away. It's not a drone, it's a drop shuttle. Troops incoming. Ethan's heart pounded. Uncle Max stood up, holding a homemade launcher. Time to shine. Collins nodded. Prepare for defense. We hold them back until we get a response. Outside, in the sky above the trees, the dropship roared toward. Them lights glowed. Engines burned. Soldiers in black armor began to descend, but just as the first soldier touched down, a blinding light filled the sky. A new ship appeared. Larger, sleeker, silver with royal markings. Vieira gasped. That's a Senate vessel. A voice crackled through the speakers. This is the Zarelian Senate Enforcement Fleet. Hostilities on Earth are forbidden. All rogue units are to stand down. The dropship paused. The black-armored soldiers froze. Then they vanished. Teleported out in flashes of light. Collins let out a breath. We did it. Vera smiled at Ethan. You did it. He grinned. Next time I send a signal, maybe I'll just ask for pizza. The silver ship from the Zarelian Senate hung in Earth's orbit like a giant shining guardian. Its royal markings glowed softly against the darkness of space. Inside, Princess Vyra stood tall, watching the planet below through a large transparent window. Ethan Reed sat beside her, eyes wide with awe. The whole situation felt surreal. Just days ago, he was a regular guy, struggling with a broken coffee maker. Now, he was sitting on an alien warship waiting for what came next, back on Earth. News of the Zarelian Senate's intervention had spread fast. Videos of the dropship's soldiers vanishing in flashes of light went viral before they were mysteriously removed. Governments denied everything, but people whispered aliens are real. One teenager said on a live stream, humanity is not alone. An older woman nodded on the news. The world was watching and waiting. Inside the Senate ship's command room, Vyra met with the Senate Council. The elders wore robes that shimmered with cosmic patterns. Their eyes were sharp but tired. Princess Vyra, the chief elder, spoke, voice echoing softly. You have defied your uncle's orders and sought refuge on a forbidden world. Vyra bowed slightly. I did what I must. Earth is not a battlefield. It is innocent. The chief elder's eyes softened. Your actions have stirred the Senate. There is talk of peace. But your uncle remains a threat. We must act carefully. Ethan watched. Feeling the weight of politics heavy in the room, the council decided to send a diplomatic envoy to Earth. Their mission: establish formal contact with Earth's governments and protect the planet from further attacks. Ethan Reed, Vyra said quietly, you are part of this now. The signal you sent has changed everything. Ethan swallowed. I'm just a guy with a radio, she smiled. You are much more than that. Back on Earth, Agent Mira Collins met with global leaders in a secret summit. The truth about the Zarelian presence was confirmed. Plans were made to cooperate with the Senate fleet. Humanity has a chance, Collins told the room. We stand at a crossroads. We can prepare for war work, for peace. Ethan and Viria were invited to join the discussions as representatives of the alliance between humans and Zarelians, but not everyone was happy. Uncle Max, still convinced of conspiracies, gathered a group of survivalists and skeptics. They're hiding the truth, he told them. Aliens, governments, lies all around. We must be ready. Ethan tried to reason with him, but Max was firm. They'll betray us, Max warned. Trust no one. As the diplomatic talks began, strange things happened. Vera noticed shadows moving near the Senate ship's communication arrays. Sabotage one night. An unknown figure tried to break into the command center. Virea and Ethan caught the intruder a spy from her uncle's forces. Why? Ethan asked. To stop peace, the spy hissed. Your uncle wants war. Spy's words shook them. Vera realized the threat was closer than ever. Her uncle was planning something big. Earth was in the middle. We must prepare, she told Ethan. Together, he replied. Meanwhile, public opinion shifted. People held rallies supporting the alliance, waving Earth and Zarelian flags. Musicians wrote songs about friendship across stars. Children dreamed of exploring space. Hope spread like wildfire. The day had come. The sky above Earth was restless. Distant flashes of light and humming sounds echoed through cities and countryside alike. The Zarelian Senate ship hovered over the Pacific Ocean, casting a silver shadow over the waves below. Inside the command center, Princess Vieira stood beside Ethan Reed. Both were tense but determined. Outside, Earth and Zarelian forces prepared for what could be the final battle. Are you ready? Bria asked, gripping Ethan's arm. He swallowed his fear. As ready as I'll ever be. They both knew this was bigger than them now. Just a fight for one princess, or one planet, but for peace between worlds. Across the continent, Uncle Max's group of conspirators moved in secret. Armed with old weapons and strange devices, they intended to sabotage the alliance and ignite. Chaos believed he was protecting humanity from a hidden alien invasion. What he didn't see was how his actions risked destroying the fragile trust that had formed. The first attack came at dawn. Black ships, smaller but armed to the teeth, appeared near major cities. These were the rogue soldiers sent by Vareas. Uncle, the exiled prince who wanted the throne at any cost, they struck quickly, targeting communication towers and military bases. On the Senate ship, alarms blared. Rogue forces are attacking Earth, Virea reported. Agent Mira Collins spoke over the radio. We're deploying defenses. Earth's forces are coordinating with Senate fleets. Ethan watched the glowing maps showing battles raging across the planet. Back in his home, Ethan helped coordinate ground support. Vera's presence inspired. Humans, soldiers, fought harder. Civilians helped wherever they could. This is what happens when worlds come together, Vera said quietly. The battle was fierce. Vera led a small team to intercept the rogue prince's ship before it could land. They moved fast through the forests and hills near a secret military base. The prince's soldiers were ruthless, but Vera's training and Ethan's quick thinking made the difference. At the climax, Virea confronted her uncle. You'll never take the throne, she said firmly. He sneered. I will, and I will crush this pathetic planet to do it. The fight was brutal, light flashing from plasma weapons and blades. But in the end, Vera's courage won. She used a special device to disable her uncle's ship and capture him. Back on Earth, the rogue attacks ended. Peace talks resumed. Stronger than ever, Virea addressed a global audience via hologram, her voice steady and hopeful. Earth and Zarelia have shown that even in darkness, light can shine. Together we will build a future where all life can thrive. Ethan smiled beside her, proud and amazed. Uncle Max, seeing the unity and hope, finally understood. He stepped forward, joining the peace movement. Maybe I was wrong, he said. Maybe there's more to the universe and to us than I thought. The months that followed, Earth and Zerelia worked together. New technologies, new friendships, and new dreams formed. Ethan and Vera stood side by side, ready to face the stars. "Next time you send a signal," Vera joked. "Maybe check the coordinates first." Ethan laughed. "Deal, but no promises." Stars above Earth twinkled brightly. A signal from the wrong planet had started a story that would change everything, and it was only just beginning.